Hey, listen, I am so excited to be back with you going live this Monday. Let's get into it. Today, I want to ask you a couple questions before we get started because I have a super amazing guest. And I just want to ask you this question, ladies. What do you think the cost of not taking control of your finances is? And how much longer are you willing to pay that price? We got to know. What if I told you that the life you've been dreaming of, financial freedom, time freedom, building generational wealth, is really closer than you think? It's just that you have to take action, right? Ask yourself this one question. If there were no limitations because of money, how would you live your life and how would you spend your time? What would be the things that you would do, see, and enjoy? How would your life really be differently if your money changed for you? At the end of the day, I'm here to empower you to move forward. So let's get into it. Today, I want to welcome you to another episode of Going from Chaos to Calm with Your Finances, where we learn the secrets to unblock our path to wealth. We're going to dig deep. We dig deep here week to week on the spiritual, mental, and physical of our finances and the practical and the tactical on how we can increase our money. This week is going to be very practical and very tactical because our guest has a lot of strong background in finance. And he's one of my favorite colleagues. I love when I see him at conferences and when we're doing things, we're always building and vibing on something new in the financial world. But here, I'm here to empower you to transform your income into wealth. That is the main goal of why I go live every week, is to encourage you and to get you to take that next step to bring your finances from a place of chaos to a place of calm. If this is your first time tuning in, I'm your girl Saran. I'm your host every week, and I bring in amazing guests from week to week where we can allow you to move forward. And my goal here is to empower women to go from chaos to calm with their finances so they can enjoy the life that they deserve. So it's not just about hearing from me. It's about asking questions. So jump in my DMs if you have questions. Shoot me an email. You know how to get in contact with me. Saran at coveredbySaran.com, and I'll answer your questions live or I'll answer your questions personally. But be sure to tune in. And before we get started, as you know, I always have an affirmation for the week. So this week's affirmation, it goes along with our special guest today. And what we're doing is, I am building wealth, creating freedom, and leaving a legacy. I am building wealth, creating freedom, and leaving a legacy. And as always, I will put that affirmation for you in the comment section so that you can capture that affirmation and treat yourself to changing your mindset this week about your finances. So without further ado, I want to bring my friend, Jay from Jay's Money Secrets on, and I'm going to introduce you to him. Let me add him to the stage. But I'm going to give him a proper introduction because he got a whole bunch of accolades and letters and numbers and all that. He fancy, y'all. He real fancy with the numbers. Just a little bit fancy with the numbers. But this is my guy, Jay Joseph. He's been one of my colleagues for it's been 2 years now, I think. Yes, and he is a licensed financial advisor for 17 years. He has a Series 7, Series 66, Series 9, 215 life insurance license, CRPC, which is a chartered retirement planning counselor. Jay worked at Merrill Lynch as a financial advisor for 13 years, and he has empowered thousands and thousands of clients and managed millions of dollars assisting people on their journey to wealth. After 13 years, he decided to take his talents to the streets on his own and build his own business so he could focus on the types of clients that he loves to serve and to empower to move to their next stage in their financial lives and to grow. And that's where I met Jay when he decided to step out into the entrepreneur world. And we're in one of the same brokerages. And so it's been exciting. And I've been trying to get you on for a while. We've been texting and emailing, but Jay has so much to bring. So Jay, go ahead, bring your voice into the room. You can say whatever it is you feel like you want to say to the audience.
Whatever. Okay. Well, I appreciate the opportunity.
Keep it clean.
All right. Well, first of all, good evening to you all. And I thank you guys for investing your time with us, because that's the one non-renewable resource that you cannot get back. And we pray that the time you invest with us tonight, that you get back some kind of return. All the accolades has been said, at least majority of them. So it's my pleasure to be here to serve you all, to share my experiences, my knowledge, and my insight to help you guys get to a place of having money freedom and time freedom, which is what I call financial independence.
Yeah, I love that. Can you come a little bit closer to your mic?
Oh, of course. If you want to come closer, just say that then.
That's what I just said. Just come close to your mic, because we don't want to miss any of this, right? And I've been dying to have this conversation with you, because you do something that I think is very unique in the industry, because you bring a trading background. And for many of our ladies, and I'll include myself, there was a time I just didn't feel confident about even getting into the stock market. Yeah. I felt like, oh my God, what are all these candles and sticks, and what do I do with this, and where do I start? And so if you were talking to an older version of Saran, because I'm not that girl anymore, I get into it a little bit more than I used to, but a woman like me who has the income, who just may not know where to start and how to start, what would you say to me to get started in maybe the stock trading game?
Wow, great question. Well, number one, I want to start out with a statistic, right? 10% of the actual stock market, which is a multi-trillion-dollar industry, is controlled. 89% of it is controlled by 10% of the population. That's one of the biggest attributors to the wealth gap. Now, when we own stocks, we actually have ownership of something. We have assets. And a lot of times we don't own anything. We buy liabilities before we buy assets. So it's imperative that we get into the stock market. And the reason why I would consider getting into the stock market is, one, it has liquidity, which means if I buy an individual stock, or as we know, we probably have heard of an exchange traded fund, which is an ETF, I can buy it, I can sell it in 2 to 3 days, I can have my money back to me. So it's liquid. Number two, we look at the cost of entry when it comes time to get into the stock market. I read something before that says, don't despise small beginnings. And you can start off investing in the market with as little as $5, $10, right? So never despise small beginnings. That money compounds and it adds up over time. But I would tell you that, hey, the stock market is a passive and a portfolio way to invest your money. So you're not only working hard for money, but now your money is working for you. So this is something that we shouldn't be doing. Everybody might not be a business owner, but everybody should be an investor, and you can start in the stock market.
So you just said something that of interest. Passive. You said the stock market is a passive investment. So tell me a little bit more about that. And, as someone who, I'm not a day trader, right? I'm a buy and hold kind of stock girl, right? I buy the things I use, or I buy the things I think I want, right? And I laugh and I tell people, I'm like, I might not own a Louis Vuitton bag, but I got some stock because it was cheaper than the bag. Right. Well, it was more cost effective than the bag at the time. And so when you say passive, give me some example of how it can be passive.
All right. So number one, you brought up a great point as well. Number one, there's a difference, you all, between trading and investing in the stock market. It is a difference. Now, when it comes to trading is more proactive, but trading can solve short-term goals. It can create income for you on the short term. Normally, when I trade, one of the main things I'm looking for are these things called technical indicators that literally shows me where a stock has been, and it predicts where it may go in the future. I'm in for short terms, whether it be a day, whether it be a few days, a few weeks, a month. But when it comes to investing, this is where I allocate and I park my money into a particular company, into an index that I anticipate to be around in the future. When you invest, wherever you put your money, you should be confident in that it should sit there for at least 3+ years. Investing does not solve short-term goals when it comes to investing in the stock market. Now, ways investing could be actually passive is when you have a stock, you can make money multiple ways, right? But one of the two main ways that individuals make money when investing in stocks is, one, the appreciation. I can buy it for $10 and then it goes up to $15. It just appreciated by $5.
Right.
The other aspect For certain stocks, they pay what we call a dividend. And a dividend is literally retained earnings, which is excess earnings that the company has left over after they paid all their expenses. And those companies that pay out a dividend, they pay out that dividend normally every quarter to the shareholders. So if you own a share, you would get paid a dividend. That dividend is paid is whether you're a business owner, whether you are a W-2 employee, whether you're in the country, whether you're out the country, that dividend pays every quarter. So that is passive. You don't have to work for that once you actually own the actual stock. Now, those are the two ways that stocks can actually be passive when it comes to investing. Now, this is the kicker. 70% of people that invest in the stock market, they don't make money when the stock market falls. But they're paid to make money when the stock market falls. And what a lot of people don't tell you is once you accumulate shares, a lot of us probably heard this thing called Turo, or we heard of Airbnb. You rent cars when it comes to Turo. You rent houses when it comes to Airbnb. But I rent my stocks out and I produce income as well. So there's technically 3 ways I can create and make money on stocks that I'm holding and investing for the long term.
So let me make sure I got it. So investing, which is which is more like buying and holding, which is what I do. Trading, and then you said the renting. What is that called? What's the technical term for that? You're renting out your stocks. What's that again?
Absolutely. So consider this. I have a rental property that I purchased, and now I'm going to find a tenant, and the tenant is going to pay me income in order to live in my house.
Okay.
Well, let's say I have shares of, let's say Walmart. It's not a recommendation, but an example. So I have shares of Walmart. I'm going to give somebody the right to buy my shares of Walmart at a certain price. I get to determine what their price is.
Okay.
In order for them to receive that right, they have to pay me. So they're going to pay me income in order to buy my shares. And if I bought it at $100, I might give somebody an opportunity to buy it at $110. So they pay me that money every time. It could be every other week. It can be every month. It can be every quarter. I get to determine the time frame, and I also get to determine the price that I will allow someone to buy my stock from me. And that's how you rent your stocks out, and you're earning additional income, the dividend, and the opportunity for potential appreciation when investing in stocks.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Is that easy to do for someone who maybe is a beginner?
As the cool people said, and is. But yes, there is the opportunity for that. The proper preparation prevents poor performance.
Right.
And the thing is, whatever we decide to do or excel in life, having a guide will save us time, and it can also save us money. So is it easy to do? Once you understand fundamentally, right? When you're investing in stocks, you need to understand fundamentally. If I give you an example, if I'm going to buy a car, I'm going to buy this car and it looks shiny on the outside. There's a lot of, the tires are shiny. The car looks great. It looks good on the outside. But what I really want to do is I want to lift up that hood and see, is the engine leaking? Is there any oil leaking from the engine? Right? I want to see, is the air filter still in there? I want to make sure that the transmission is not leaking. So that's when I look at these stocks. I look at the fundamental aspects to make sure that these companies' revenue is increasing every year, making sure that the financial ratios are in line, making sure that their debt is either going down or making sure that they have cash in case of emergency. So once I understand and once you know fundamentally what to look for in the stock, then it becomes easy to invest in the market. And for a beginner, one thing that most beginners do or should consider doing is investing in what we call an ETF, which is an exchange traded fund. And that is something similar to the S&P 500. That's the 500 largest companies in the US. Right. And that's something where you don't have to decide and pick one stock. You can go buy a conglomerate of the 5 largest companies in the US. So now, once you get the knowledge of how to invest, then you can start and choose and pick individual stocks.
Yeah. So I love that because I think when I started buying stock, I talked to you and you said, Saran, just go buy what you use, right? And I said, okay, well, what do I use? So I'm using the Apple iPhone. So I went and bought Apple. I have an unhealthy relationship with Amazon. So I bought Amazon. They're always delivering something. So why shouldn't I own a piece of it, right?
Exactly. Invest more than you consume.
So I bought some Amazon, and then I went and I own a home. So I bought, I think at the time it was Home Depot and Lowe's. because I go there to buy stuff for my house. I said, well, especially with after the pandemic, so many people fixing things up. And so that was the basic way. And then you talked to me about dollar cost averaging. Can you break that down for our audience today?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. So when we look at dollar cost averaging, what I'm saying is a lot of people try to time the market, but it's not about timing the market. A lot of time it's about time in the market. So therefore, the longer my money is in the market, the more opportunity my money has to grow and appreciate for me. Now, dollar cost averaging, the key word in there is average. A lot of people dollar cost average. But when it comes to dollar cost averaging, I'm literally setting a set dollar amount or a percentage of what I save, whether it be on a monthly, weekly, or quarterly basis, and I'm consistently buying a particular exchange traded fund and or companies. So now I might set it to where, hey, I'm able to save $300. I'm going to take 30% of that and I'm going to allocate it to the market. So I'm going to take about $100 and I'm going to buy Apple stock, buy $100 of Apple stock every single month, no matter what the price is. So therefore, I'm buying it where when it's at its high. And then I'm going to buy it probably when it's at a mid price. And then I'm going to also be buying it at a low, but I'm going to keep buying it. And over time, it will average out. That is a very easy way that a lot of people get started when dollar cost averaging in the market. But I propose this question to you all. Are you average? Do you want to be average? So there's technical ways where we can buy, once we understand how the market works, where we can buy not just a dollar cost average, but there's tactical times that we can buy. Because Warren Buffett stated, you get greedy, i.e. you buy when everybody else is selling, when there's blood in the streets. So that's not dollar cost averaging. There's waiting for the best opportunities.
Okay. So I don't want to be average anymore. I did the dollar cost averaging, right? So what would be the best time? So if I'm following, so am I going to follow Warren Buffett's trades? Because I know there's some websites and stuff that kind of will list that stuff out, but it's like delayed, right? It's not like real time.
For sure.
So what would you recommend to someone who maybe they have, like me, been buying stock, holding it, have maybe built up a little margin in their account from the money they made for their stocks? You know, again, this is not financial advice. We just having a conversation, y'all. Right? Right. So, you know, what are some other things that they should be researching or, you know, working with someone, getting a guide? Because I know one thing that, and we didn't talk about it specifically earlier this week when we talked, but I was talking to someone and I was giving them the example of the difference between doing something by yourself and doing something with a coach. And the example I gave was this: it's kind of like when you first started riding a bike, right? You saw your big brother, your big sister, they showed you how to do it. You see them riding up and down the street down their bike, like, man, I can't wait to ride. You get your bike, you have the training wheels, but again, you don't feel steady. So your big brother, big sister, auntie, uncle, dad, whatever, they walk with you. They ride, you're pedaling and they're moving the bike with you. They let you ride with the training wheels. Then they take the training wheels off, but they're there with you going through the process. Now, do you still fall? Yeah, you still might fall, but you have somebody there to help pick you up in the process and move you through. And that's the way I try to explain to people. That's what working with a financial coach, financial planner, someone to getting into some of the programs and things that you'll see offered to help walk you through the process. And so when we go through these things, and so you're my coach when it comes to stocks, I'll be like, Jay, what do I do next? And you'll be like, Saran, call me, stop trying to text me for answers, right? Because some things are a phone call. But you know, what are the best ways that, you know, the ladies and the people who follow me, you know, getting into a good rhythm or getting with someone to help walk you through the process? What do you recommend in that area?
All right. So let me unpack a few things in here. Number one, this is a gem I want everybody to write down and understand. Any asset that you buy, any asset that you invest into, especially initially starting off your journey and also deepening your wealth building journey. Don't buy assets that don't pay you income and or you cannot leverage. This is very vital because having the right asset at the right time is also ideal. So don't hold assets that don't pay you income and or you can't leverage. Certain companies that does pay you a dividend are companies you want to consider investing in initially because you're going to receive a dividend payout. A lot of people don't understand that the S&P 500, the 500 largest companies, 30+% of the return of the S&P 500 has come from companies that pay dividends. Right? That's number one. Number two, if we don't want to be average, we then have to identify how does the stock market work, and Jay, when is the best time to buy? With that, me understanding the market because of my time and my tenure in the market, I understand that the market normally pulls back 10% every 1.5 years. The market normally has a correction every 8 to 10 years. The market's going to pull back probably 3 times 5% in a year. Simple. Every time the market falls 5%, that's when you should be investing in the stock market. Now, which stocks? That's where you need a particular guide to break down and tell you what to look at fundamentally, which stocks you should be investing into. Because a lot of people may put money into, let's say, Dogecoin, right? Dogcoin, whatever you want to call it. Or, when blockchain was popular. Well, what about the marijuana stocks when that happens? And then Tilray was one. In 2018, Tilray hit $300. This is when the marijuana phase came out. Everybody's buying this stock. And then now Tilray is probably trading for about $3 a share right now. Right? But if you had the knowledge and insight, you would have been able to look at the financial statements. These financial statements, the income statement, the statement of cash flows, and also the balance sheets are public information that these companies have to put out every single quarter. I teach people how to look at these statements and determine this is a company that I want to own because it's strong fundamentally. Even though the stock price is dropping, that's when I be buying because I know it's a strong company fundamentally. I love that analogy that you mentioned about someone riding a bike. Yeah, they may fall, but it won't fall as much or as hard because I have this guide.
Right.
So the biggest thing is like anything, like when we have a guide, as I mentioned before, the number one thing you can't get back is your time. Anybody can learn how to invest into the stock market, but how many years would it take you to do that?
Right.
How much money would it cost you to actually learn or potentially not necessarily lose, but I call it a lesson. So having someone to actually guide you through that process, speeds up the opportunity, saves money that you don't have to lose. And then the money you didn't lose, now you don't miss out on this thing called opportunity cost because now that money is working for me.
Right.
Versus me losing it, I have to make that back again.
Right. We had actually a couple of questions on Instagram. Superior Love Forever. She said, when's the best time to invest? And you just went over that. So the next one you said, the next question actually is from the same person. She said, what's the minimum amount for beginning to purchase? I don't think she was here when we first started, but go ahead and tell her what's the minimum amount to get started.
Man, that's about $5, not bands, not hundreds, but $5, right? And there's companies out there that literally cost a little of nothing. An example, one stock or AMD is about $160 something a share. There's companies that cost less than $100, right? Roku costs less than $100. Majority of us know of or have a Roku TV, right? Roku company, not making a recommendation, but they got some solid fundamentals. It's not a bad company, but the stock price has been dropping. And then now that's a company that we want to consider investing in. Now we got to ask ourselves, is that a company that does it pay a dividend or not? Right? So that's ideal. $5 consistently, $5 for 12 months is $60. Next year, that's $120. But when they start earning interest, Albert Einstein said that eighth one of the world is compound interest. You'll be amazed at how that actually accumulates up over time.
Right. And so I think, with that analogy of just starting with $5, that puts the market in reach to everyone.
Yes.
Right. Yes. And I hear, a lot of comments, and I get a lot of, confused women who are like, well, I just don't know where to start. And so then, I say, what is it? What's your goal? What's your end goal? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do with the money? Are you trying to get in? Are you trying to make fast money? Are you trying to figure out how to just get out of debt? Are you just trying to figure out how to buy a house? Are you trying to figure out how to what are you trying to do with the money will really depend on the vehicle that we'll look at bringing you into. And so, often women are just like, I just don't know where to start. There's so much information. I'm getting this TikTok and this Instagram reel and this on Facebook and this YouTube video. But so-and-so said this and so-and-so said that. What do you recommend when there's just confusion, right? Because now we have an abundance of information and people get, what's the word? Analysis paralysis. where they're just trying to analyze everything instead of actually taking action.
Oh, all right. Well, number one, God is not an author of confusion. Remember, we can't serve multiple masters either. You said something very, very key. A lot of people, especially whether it be in, let's an example, an insurance agent. A lot of insurance agents only want to sell you a product. If you're not working with an insurance agent that want to solve a problem for you versus just sell you a product, that's not ideal, right? In order for we as advisors, holistically, our goal is not to sell you a product. Our goal is to help you solve whatever problem that you have, come up with a strategy. So if you tell me, Jay, I am looking to buy a house over the next year. I'm looking to buy a house in 8 months. I'm going to tell you, yeah, we don't need to put this money in the stock market because the stock market can fluctuate up or down, and you need this money within 12 months time frame. Maybe we need to consider a high yield savings account where we can park and allocate that money.
Right.
So it's key to identify what are your goals. What is it that you're planning on doing? Because if you need to create more income, a dividend paying stock may only pay you 3, 4, 5, 6, sometimes 7%. But will that get you the amount of income that you need? If not, you may want to consider trading. You can take the same amount of money and trade and create higher returns on your money to then invest into these companies to build for the long term.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So being connected to people that you know, like, and trust, right? You guys have an excellent superstar here in the financial literacy space. And she is providing information. She's giving before she receives, because she truly has a heart to serve people with financial literacy. We want to see people do well. We want to eventually help narrow and close this wealth gap, right? Everybody deserves to live life on their own terms to pursue their purpose. And a lot of times we don't do that because we lack the money or we lack the time to do so. So our goals is give you the foundational financial information to build those. And then we need to show you how to protect your wealth, how to grow your wealth, and then also how to transfer your wealth. So we're going to walk you through this particular journey. So once you let us know what you're seeking, then the advisor or the mentor or the guide that you need, it will come to you. Because if someone's talking about trading and you need to invest, that's not for me now. That doesn't align with what I'm looking to accomplish.
Yeah, I love that. They say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And then they say when the student is really ready, the teacher will disappear. Because once you got it, you got it. You know, I'm a huge fan of Karate Kid, thanks to my dad. And so you gotta get in the reps, if you will, to go forward. But even the Karate Kid had what? A coach and a guide. And so that's why I love when we're able to connect and we're able to build on different things to move forward. And I think, and last week we talked a lot about vision, setting the vision, where you want to go, because subconsciously, when you're clear about where you want to go, everything will start to will start to conspire to move you in the direction of where you want to go. All the resources will come out of nowhere. Now, it won't magically appear, tomorrow, but you'll start to see little syncrasies coming up. Like, man, I just said I wanted to travel the world, and now here's an invitation to a trip that somewhere I really want to go. So it's really getting that. And when it comes to your money, I said this on many occasions, money is energy, and energy must be directed. And focused energy is where the power lies. And what we're using right now, the platform we are on, the internet, the computers, the cameras, the lights, all that is focused energy. And look how powerful that is, and how much powerful your money will be when you get focused and clear about what you want your money to do for you. Because as we say, money that doesn't have a job is unemployed, and unemployed money runs away.
Said what she said.
Unemployed money will disappear in a heartbeat. And if you're here live, look, put it in the chat. You ever got a deposit of some money you didn't expect? You got a bonus or something and you didn't make a plan for it. The next thing you know, like, what happened to that $1,000 or whatever the bonus was? It just kind of dissipated into air. You don't know what you bought. You look at the statement, you're like, what happened to it? And I'm saying after tax. So you gotta have a plan. Actually, we have another question. Superior Love Forever on Instagram says, is Coinbase, crypto, or something else the best way to begin investing? I think we kind of answered that with gold, but I want to put that over to you because you're an expert in the trading.
Yeah. So let me jump into that, right? When we talk about asset classes, there's many asset classes, whether it's stocks, real estate, business, crypto, gold, right? There are different commodities that we can invest our money into. Now, remember, one key thing I wanted everybody to write down is that we don't initially start investing in assets that don't pay us income and or we cannot leverage. If I have gold or if I have Bitcoin, these are what we call capital appreciating assets. So I'm going to put my money into these particular assets and I'm going to hope, wait, and pray that they go up. There's a lot of macro, there's a lot of economic situations that can cause these particular commodities to go up or go down. That's out of our control. And we have to wait until they appreciate in order to take a rate of return. So what if an opportunity comes next week, next month, and my money is tied up and I can't get access to it? Now I have this thing called opportunity cost. So investing in something like crypto, fairly new, you can afford to take that risk. It's ideally to put your money into something that it's stable fundamentally. You know that it's a great company that's going to pay you a dividend and that you can rent out and then eventually leverage. So my recommendation wouldn't be to start in crypto, right? Because think about the people that bought crypto, right? And then it went up to 66,000. Then it came all the way down to about 12,000. How many people panicked, sold, and took a loss?
A lot.
There's only a select few that held on and it ran to 100,000. And guess what? It still has to come back down. The market doesn't shoot straight up. It goes up and down. But the only time it took years for crypto to get back up, to get to and break new highs of literally $100,000, right? Yeah. In the meanwhile, that money's sitting there and you're missing out on opportunities. What if you could have invested into that business that now will make you an unlimited rate of return for the rest of your life, but you didn't have the money to because it's tied up into an asset? So investing in stocks that you can identify fundamentally that are strong will be the best way to start. Now, Coinbase is an actual stock. Coinbase has an actual ticker symbol, and you can invest into that company fundamentally if it's a strong company, and you can start there.
Yeah, I love that. I want to bring us back to something that is important because we talk about leverage a lot and opportunity cost. And so I want to go into that a little bit deeper because I think we don't really understand opportunity costs when it comes to moving forward. And one of my favorite people explains it in a way that, hey, what if someone said to you, all you need is $1,000 to be a part of this legitimate opportunity, right? I'm going to make that clear because there are some things that are not legitimate. Is the $1,000 to be a part of this, or is $1,000 to say start the business you've been dreaming of starting, getting the LLC, getting insurance for the business, getting the licenses that are required to do it, whatever it is, starting off your inventory, all the things that may be depending on you want to start a business, and it's $1,000. But not only do you not have the $1,000 because you're focused on, what most people do, which is paying bills and doing all the other stuff instead of looking at opportunity, but you also don't have anywhere to leverage that money from to bring that out so that you could go in and do the business, because that one time investment of that $1,000 to get into the business that, like you said, could be paying you for years to come and be put into your legacy estate plan, you missed it. Yep. And so the dollar amount of that opportunity cost is insurmountable. It could be millions of dollars, or it could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. It just depends on what that idea or opportunity was for you to move forward. And so one of the things that I know we agree on is focusing on setting up leverageable assets first, things that protect you, things that will allow you to get some control on your money. So I want us to go into a little bit about that. One of my favorite ways to leverage is through cash value, life insurance. And I know because we're in the similar industries and lots of different things, the thing is that understanding what you want is still the most important part of doing that. So talk to me a little bit, Jay, about how you work with people who say they want to do some investing, but they don't have the proper foundation set up. So how do we get those foundations set up?
Man, so much to say based off what you just said. But to start off, the number one investment you're going to be able to make is going to be in yourself. That's going to have the greatest return and the longest shelf life. Yet again, the number one investment you can make is in yourself. And if you're investing in that business is you. That's going to reflect you. So that's the biggest investment, greatest investment that you can ever make. Now, a lot of communities, certain communities in particular, if a dollar goes into that community, it's gone within 24 hours. That particular dollar did not have an opportunity to work for the owner that created it.
Right.
There's a book, The Richest Man in Babylon, that said any money you make, a part of it is yours to keep. Therefore, you should be saving a portion of your money, because now your money, as Saran mentioned, has a job and it should be working for you, if not as harder than you work for yourself. So we have to find ways to make our dollar work more than one time for us. An example, if I have $100,000 right now and I wanted to go buy, use the example again, gold. I got $100,000 in gold. My net worth can increase when gold appreciates, but now gold is not going to be able to give me that $1,000 that I need to invest into my business. Gold is not going to pay me money to help me pay my rent and or my mortgage. It's going to look very nice and shiny. I can see, I can touch it. And as mentioned, it's going to help my net worth statement. But now I can't leverage the gold. So now any opportunities of $100,000 or so are going to be missed. Therefore, future returns I will never get. But what if I knew how to accurately manage and invest money to where that $100,000 can work for me, not one, not two, not three, but 4+ times? So what does that look like? The foundational asset that everybody needs to have is cash value. We don't understand. Cash value is a checking account, a savings account on steroids.
Yes.
One of the things that we want to protect is what? Our money, because creditors can access our money, but not if it's in a cash value policy. Right. Taxation is one of the ways that erodes our opportunity to build and or keep wealth, not in a cash value policy. The rates of returns does not keep up with inflation, especially those returns in like checking, savings, and money market products, not in the cash value policy. Right. But now those are some benefits. But the key thing is the money inside that cash value policy, it's mine that I can access whether I have a job, no job, a business owner, I have no business, or I got good credit or bad credit. I can access that asset. And then ideally, I can access that asset. And what you should do is then buy another asset, let's say a stock, that will pay you a dividend.
And now you got the three-way play.
Yeah. And then now you can leverage that as well. So that is key. And this is why we're literally I'm creating something that shows individual how to invest and manage your money. And you can use that dollar more than 4 times, because Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 1 and 2 in the NIV version states this: spread your grain across the sea, for one day it's going to come back to you. Invest in 7 yet 8 ventures, because you never know the desolations of the land.
Right.
Think about restaurants in March of 2020 when COVID hit. If that was your only stream of income, you now have $0 coming into income. Right. And this is why we need to have multiple streams of income. And in order to have multiple streams of income, we need to have the capital and or the credit to be able to invest into these other things that can produce us income that's in different industries. And we need to have a foundational asset class that's guaranteed. No investments is guaranteed. Cash value is guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Right. So whatever you guys like, if you guys don't hear anything tonight, make sure that your money is going to be in a position to be maximized. In order to be maximized, it has to be in an asset class that's going to bring you protection that you can leverage to put into another asset class that can produce you income that you also can leverage. Now that $100,000 is working into about 4 different asset classes.
Yeah. And I love the way you explained it. You kept it, really simple, because we try to teach this as much as possible, because we see so much or so many in our community not accessing it, not using it to their benefit. And when we say multiple streams of income, what the average person hears is multiple jobs. for you physically. And that is not what we're talking about. And so I wanted to clarify that because we're already busy. We're not saying with your multiple streams of income that you need more jobs. We're saying your money needs more jobs. Your money needs to be able to do more things for you or create more money for you so that you can move forward. One of my favorite internet people right now, and I always quote him. He says this on one of his videos, and you probably heard it too, Jay. Myron Golden talks about there's a few different types of people when it comes to money. The poor mindset when it comes to money is, let me make some money so I can pay my bills. The middle class mindset is, let me make enough money so I can get good credit so I can buy more stuff I can't afford. The rich or the wealthy mentality when it comes to money is, let me figure out how my money can make more money before they pay bills, before they get credit. They're trying to, we have to work ourselves to a way, and it's a growth process, right? We're not expecting you to get off this live right now and then be like, let me figure out how all my money can make more money by yourself, right? But what we're saying is a mindset shift that we all had to go through, right? I went through it. You went through it at some point, right? You had to shift from thinking that this money is just to pay bills and sustain our little lives. It really is to create multiple streams of income for you when you start to take action.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I wanted to have Jay here, because he has so much insight. He has so many tools and a wealth of knowledge. And it's so important for us to really just think about our money and think about ourselves differently. And I wanted to circle back to the one thing that you said about the number one thing you can invest in is yourself. And that I wanted to just add to it is investing in your knowledge, investing in taking action. And when I say investing in knowledge, I don't mean just listening to another YouTube video or watching another 60-second TikTok reel or even just reading the book, because the best knowledge we're going to get is from actually doing the thing, stepping out and taking action, getting things done, trying it and failing. I didn't get to where I am right now doing what I do right now in finances, having never failed. Because if I wrote you a list of all the things I messed up, you'd be like, oh, she earned that. I earned that degree. I earned that financial degree, right? Just because I said, let me go and do it. Okay, I read about it. I'm tired of just reading about it and sitting on the sidelines. Let me go do it. Let me go try it. And so, and we're not saying you have to try it alone. So, but I want to ask a couple of other questions, and then I want to make sure that you drop your contact information in the chat. I want everybody to be able to follow him and connect with him on Instagram. Go to his YouTube channel, Jay's Money Secrets. Every time I look up, he's dropping a video on Jay's Money Secrets. And I happen to have some insider knowledge about a course that he has coming out that you'll be able to get early access to if you go follow him on Instagram and YouTube. So I want to make sure that y'all know about that, because the thing is, we have to move forward in collaboration, which is why I didn't think it robbery to ask you to come and talk about what we all do all day long as a profession. I said, I got to have you, Jay, because you bring a different perspective. And as I like to joke with you, because you're in Florida, you bring the sunshine too.
And no cold. No.
So tell me a little bit about, how, my ladies who typically follow me, not gentlemen, I know y'all out there too, because I see H in the comments. But tell me a little bit about the new American dream. You talk about it in your bio. And I really want you to kind of, talk about it, because a lot of our women are trying to achieve it. We're not out here trying to get the house with the white picket fence, 2.5 kids and a husband. We're trying to get not that plus what you told me what the new American dream is, because we're all looking to really just be, right?
For sure. Let me say this here. Let me give you guys some insight on what the new American dream is, because we're kind of familiar with what we call the old American dream, right? We're going to go to school, we're going to get good grades, we're going to then get this wonderful job. And this wonderful job, we're going to put money away in our employer's retirement plan, and to one day retire at 65 plus, which now instead of 65, they moved the retirement age a little longer now, right? 72 is when people are taking out money out of their required to take money out of their retirement accounts. What I want you guys to do, envision a life like now. This is what I want you guys to do. Envision a life where you have money in time to pursue your purpose, because we all got a purpose.
Right.
Be present for your loved ones and travel the world before the age of 65.
I'm in. Sign me up.
That's the new American dream. That's your new American dream. And that's what I'm on a mission to help people accomplish. But a lot of times we can't accomplish something because we lack people perish from the lack of knowledge. Let's face it, there's a lot of things that we didn't learn at home growing up. There was things that we didn't learn in our religious organizations. There's things that we did not learn in school when it comes to managing and investing money. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, when we think about investing money, a lot of us, we seek financial advisors. And a lot of advisors, the objective is, well, the orthodox way of a lot of financial advisor is give me your money, let me manage it for you. I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but I'm going to manage it for you. And I'm going to charge you what we call AUM, assets under management, a fee every year. And it may be between 1% and 2%. It's not that much, but over 20 to 30 years, you're paying 20 to 40% on fees, whether you make money or not in these particular mutual funds. And then now you don't have the knowledge of how to manage it. You're relying on someone else. So now that's strictly investing for what? The long term, for retirement. My goal is to take the financial planning information the orthodox way, and then the unorthodox way of how I understand how business works, how the stock market works, and how insurance works, to fuse these things together to help the everyday American, the business owner that may own a business and not have a system that they own, for those that have a job and are barely getting paid enough for what they're really worth, or limited to 2 weeks vacation for the year. Yeah, I want to show you how and where your money should be allocated, percentages wise. Break it down so you know my money needs to go here, because you don't want to front load a 401k, which is a tax deferred retirement account. Right. Most people do that. There's over $7 trillion in the 401k account. And a little bit of history. The 401ks were not created initially for retirement. They were created for executive high-paid employees to save on taxes at the time, which was 70%. That's what it was created for. It wasn't created for retirement. So now imagine putting all this money in this tax-deferred account that if I try to access it, I get paid. There's a penalty. I get penalized on the money I put away. And then the money's going to be added to my income and taxed in my tax bracket for the year.
And then if you need to take a loan from your 401k while you're in service, you automatically got to pay an interest rate. They tell you exactly how much interest you lose when you take the loan. You got to be on a bi-weekly payment plan immediately. But I thought it was my money. It's not your money once you put it into those plans. And so we're not saying don't do it. We're saying ask better questions and get with people who want to teach you what to do, and not just say, hey, let me do it for you. I mean, even if we go back to my example about the bike, how would you enjoy riding the bike if the person that said they was going to teach you is like, nah, I'm going to just keep showing you what I'm doing with the bike. You don't got to ride the bike. I'm going to just keep riding around. You just keep taking the video of me riding the bike. You never get the wind in your own hair to enjoy it. And Absolutely. So I love that tip. So what do you feel like is one piece of advice or a little known financial tip that women don't know about that they could be benefiting from now instead of waiting?
Well, I love and understand that the foundation of wealth building and protection is insurance. Yeah. With women, I'm not sure if you all know, but the cost of insurance is less for you than men. Do you know your health and your age is an asset? It's called insurability. The earlier you get that, the cheaper it is. The longer that it actually compounds. And if we have a permanent policy, whether it be like a whole life insurance policy or index universal life policy, the longer you have the money into those policies, the more it earns, the more it compounds, and the greater that nest egg will be. And that, to that example, when you borrow money from your insurance policy, from that cash value, guess what happens? You're still earning interest.
Yes.
But when I borrow from my 401k, there's no interest now.
Gone.
I don't earn interest. I'm only now paying interest on those particular funds. But yeah, using insurance as an asset class and not just solely for the death benefit. Let's not wait to do that, because that's only the start. Because we're going to show you how to extract the money from your cash value to invest into an asset class that can make you, what if it can make you 10% a month? That's 120% for the year. What investment do you know that is doing that? This is how we get to that new American dream sooner than later. This is how we have money freedom and time freedom. Because some people can teach you how to make money, but then they can't tell you how to keep it, grow it, and manage it.
And protect it. And I know that was one of the things that even got me into the industry, because I was making, double six figures. And then when I got laid off, I figured out I didn't have any money saved up, because I always had money coming in. So nobody was teaching me how to handle money. It was just like, oh, you're good, you make money. And I was like, and then when I figured out, I said, no, I have to learn how to grow, protect, and have this be able to be available for me now and in the future, and not just be counting on the next paycheck. Because many people don't understand that you could be a six-figure earner and still be check to check.
Listen, you can be a 7- and 8-figure earner, because of NFL and NBA players, over 60%, that's 6-0, within 5 years of not getting those high paychecks anymore, they actually go bankrupt. So it doesn't matter about the money you make. It's not only about the money you make, but what you keep, what you do with what you keep as well.
Yeah. What you do with what you keep, and how you leverage it to allow it to grow. I love it. I'm so excited. I hope you come back.
I need 2 more tough questions, and then I'm gonna come back.
2 more tough questions. Oh, okay. Let's see.
I need somebody to stump me tonight.
Let me see if Instagram got anything up there.
Come on, man. I know, but yeah, at the end of the day, like our job here is to serve, right? And you guys are dealing with individuals that has insight and information and knowledge that can really help you guys overcome some hurdles, get to your next level, and increase your wealth, right? We got to be able to take advantage of that, right? And on our goal, our mission is to give before we actually receive. So just definitely take advantage of someone that's been a financial advisor for over 17 years, that that hasn't worked a W-2 job in about 5 years, right? Someone that can be in this state, this country at the drop of a dime. That's what true freedom looks like. But now I'm able to retire from something, but I retire to something. And that's really helping people achieve this thing called wealth and achieve the new American dream, so you can have time and money freedom to live life on your own terms.
Yes. All right, Jay, give me your Instagram so we can put it in the chat. People can check you out on Instagram.
All right. So on Instagram, that is, I'll go ahead and put that in there, but that's Jay's Money Secrets. That is Jay's with the S, Secrets with the S. That's Jay's Money Secrets. You guys can follow me on Instagram. And December 20th, I know we talked about is going to be that launch date. So December 20th, if you guys send me a DM, and I want you guys to DM me Saran Baker, so I know where you guys come from. And I'm going to give you guys the early access, because my job is to show you how to trade in the market to create and generate income. And guess what? It's not day trading, right? You're still going to be able to have a life, but now your money's going to be making more money for you, and you're going to know how to do that. But not only that, we're going to show you how and what to do with the money once you're actually making it. And then someone just dropped a question, because one of the ways that we tell you of what to do with the money that you create is put it in what? An annuity. So I will tell you guys about an annuity, but I want to see if Ms. Baker want to take this question, or you want me to go ahead and handle this.
Look, we can handle it together, because I love annuities, right? Yeah. It is the best way, one of the best ways to protect your money. Actually, I often recommend, when you leave a job, don't leave your money at that job. If you had a 401k, a 457, or any type of retirement plan at a job that you were, if you left a job, why you want to leave your money there? If you don't want to be there, why should your money be there? And a lot of times what you need to do is roll it into annuity. And I have clients now that I've rolled their money from old previous jobs, places they no longer work, into annuities, and was able to show them that without doing anything else, they're going to have over $1 million for their retirement without even doing anything else, right? And then, the other thing is you could, and those are what we call single premium, where you just kind of drop a lump sum in there. And really, we drop that in when you say, you know what, Saran, I already have my foundation together. I have a foundational life insurance policy. I have some cash value set up. I have some stock accounts. I have some things in place. But you could also do it where you're putting money into it monthly, just like you put into your 401k, your 457, but you control it outside of where you work, and you have access to it. But it's not something to be played with. It is a retirement vehicle, and you can do it also in what we call like the Roth way, where you do it already after tax too. Because the other thing we didn't even really talk about is the future taxes that you're going to pay on these tax deferred accounts. And mathematically, and I know Jay, you could jump in here. I've seen so many examples mathematically where I've had clients, they put all this money into tax deferred accounts. And then when we look at when they get ready to take it out, just using today's tax rates, they break even. They're not even really saving any money on taxes. You just may have saved for the short term on that year over year. But when you get ready to take it out, best believe the uncle that you thought you didn't want, Uncle Sam, because I don't know how I got related to that dude. But Uncle Sam, he's coming for his cut. He's not going to let you off the hook for the taxes. And so you're still going to pay those taxes in the future. You might not pay him now, then we'll pay him later. Hey, Marcy, I see you. We'll talk later in the week. But you want to roll those things into places where you control them. So that's a great question, Lisa. Lisa, reach out to me, reach out to Jay, reach out to one of us so we can get you in place and look at what you got. And then there's another question on Instagram. I know you can't see it. I'm looking on my Instagram. Superior Love Forever. That's my girl too. She says, is there a age that a person is too old to invest?
Oh man, let me answer that. No.
I was gonna say no.
So now keep in mind, like one thing in the orthodox financial planning way, one tactic and one strategy that people normally use is take the number 100 minus your age from it. That number is the amount that you should have exposed to equity, which are stocks, could be aggressive, right? But with knowledge, you reduce and you can mitigate your risk. I'm not sure if you guys understand or are aware per se, but we all drive a car. And what's one thing that we have to have before we drive a car off the lot?
Insurance.
We got medical. We have to have now insurance, right? So now, are you aware that you can buy insurance on your stocks in case they go down? You can.
I actually didn't know that. Well, because you're my stock guy, so I'm always learning from you.
Well, now you know, right? So, but with that, right? People yet again, we perish for the lack of knowledge. So we pay premiums on a car, but we don't have car accidents every day. We don't have car accidents every week. But now you can literally protect and mitigate your losses. So as you guys move up on this wealth journey, we show you how to mitigate losses from the assets that you've accumulated, because there's 4 phases to wealth, right? One, right, the foundational, then we're going to accumulate this wealth. Then we're going to actually protect and preserve this wealth. And then we're going to transfer this wealth. So yet again, based off where you are, what are your goals? We show you guys what strategies and what products that we use. And one strategy is going to be what? An annuity. And we understand with an annuity, one key thing is you have guarantees when it comes to annuity. A lot of us, we might not receive this thing called Social Security. Or a lot of us, we might have a contribution retirement plan like a 401k that will not pay us income like a pension will, but we can create our own pensions via an annuity. Yeah. These are very tactical asset classes that can generate us a consistent stream of income for the rest of our life, guaranteed. Yeah. And talking about this thing called taxes, I want someone to put in the chat, what is the highest federal tax rate over the last 60 years? How high has that been?
I'm not allowed to answer.
No, you can't.
I know it. Because and Marcia said, what? Yes, this stock insurance. Look, he's teaching me. So I got you, Marcia. I got you. What is the so the question to the audience, those of you watching live, do you know what the highest federal tax has been over the last 60 years? I'm not allowed to answer because I actually know the answer.
I want to see some numbers in the chat.
I want to see. Okay, Marcia said 45.
Okay,
that's kind of low. That's kind of low, Marcia. Actually.
Well, currently it's 30. It's about 39.60% right now. So we'll round up. It's about 40% right now. Yeah. What has been the highest?
What has been the highest? Angela said 63.
Okay, I see you, Angela. 63. Okay. That's
all right. So look, my dad said 37 on Instagram.
Okay, appreciate you, Dad. But if you double what Dad said, which is going to bring us to 74, that's 60. 74. That's still not enough.
Still not enough.
The highest tax rate has been over 90%.
Yeah.
Over 90% is the highest federal tax rate. Therefore, in certain scenarios, you can be paying 90% of what you actually earn to the government.
Yeah.
Right. Remember that example, what I mentioned. In the late 1990s, it was 70%. That's when the 401ks were created.
Yeah.
But now you're getting a discount from paying taxes on your seed at a very low tax rate compared to what it was in the past.
Right.
And then that seed is going to grow into what? A big harvest.
And
guess what you're going to be taxed on that full harvest during retirement. Mm-hmm. Most people think we will be in a lower tax bracket income-wise. That could be the case. But over the last 5 years, more money was printed than it ever was before. This debt is increasing. We're talking about war and going into more wars. And that's one of the reasons why the IRS was created. And taxation was to fund the war, right? Yeah. So there's a very high a very high probability that the tax rates are going up in the future. Therefore, the more money you take out of these tax-deferred retirement accounts, the more it's going to be taxed, the more you're going to be taxed, the more it's going to increase your income, then that can affect your Social Security benefits and costs. Yeah. That can affect your Medicare.
And I love that because the tax, right, and we talk about this all the time, is the single between tax and inflation. They're the two things that are wealth killers.
Thanks.
Taxes and inflation will eat away at your wealth. If you go in and let's add, everybody's living longer. So if you retire at 65 and you're a female, you have a life expectancy of about 80, 85. I think is the number, right? So that's 20 years, at least 20 years. But a lot of women are living to their 90s. So 20, 25 years of income. Let's say you have $1 million or $500,000 saved up. It's not going to last you for that 20 or 25 years because of taxes and inflation, because you're going to be taxed on Social Security. Most people don't know that. I know we're going a little bit over our normal time, but you're going to be taxed on Social Security. You can be taxed on your Social Security up to 80% of your Social Security benefits based on other income coming from 401ks, coming from any other tax deferred type of retirement funds. All those things are going to come into play. And then let's not talk about inflation. It's kind of under control now because it was out of control after, like when COVID started, like you went inside in March 2020. And then when you came out in 2021, you peeped your head out. It's like, ooh, it's high priced out here. And I used to have to explain inflation. I don't have to explain it as much. I used to tell people, look, when I was growing up, a slice of pizza was 90 cents in New York. Now it's $2.90. That's inflation. But everyone gets it, right? You go grab a beverage at your favorite restaurant. That same beverage that was $7 is now $20. And so with and Angela was actually close. She put 89% in the chat for the highest effective tax rate. So she's pretty close. But we don't think about the one thing that happened. And now I was a kid in the 80s when Reaganomics was happening. But When Reagan ran, he ran on lower taxes. And the reason that mattered and the whole Reaganomics plan mattered so much is because we were coming out of the 50s and 60s where people were seeing effective tax rates at 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90%. And so, of course, they're like, I want more of the dollar that I earned to go to my house. And so you see those things, but we don't understand that because many of us, we were children or we weren't born in the 50s and 60s, and so we don't know about the dollars and cents and how much tougher it was with the taxes. But with all the money that we went through during COVID pandemic and all the stimulus, and it was needed, right? There were a lot of people who really needed it. So we're not saying that something is wrong with it. People needed those funds because people were not working. But those things we created a bill. And guess who gets to pay for it? The taxpayers. And guess which taxpayers get to pay it the most? The middle class. The middle class and the low and the low. We get to pay it because we're not making enough money to write it off. We don't have businesses, wink, wink, to write stuff off. We don't have assets set up that will be taxed, that will avoid taxes. We aren't setting up the things to shield us from those taxes. And that's why we have these conversations. That's why I bring on amazing guests like Jay to talk about it. So, but go ahead. Did you want to say something else about the taxes? That was a great question.
No. I think that solidifies it when it comes to the taxes, right? So just yet again, knowing where to put your money and how to grow your money is just as important. And these are the things that we're really teaching and educating people on. So it's more about just yet again a product. It's about a strategy and solving your current problems and also your future problems and making sure that your legacy lives on even if you're not even here.
Yeah. So I love it. I think Superior Love Academy had one more question, then we're going to close out. Is there a way to take one federal employment and place them in a private organization to grow better wealth goal? I guess my question would be back to you is, are you currently still working for the federal government? And how many years do you have to retirement? Because there are special laws if you're within 5 years of a retirement. If you're gone, it can be rolled and moved however you see fit. So that's the basic answer. So you can text me. That's actually one of my co-authors for my book that I did a book with. So call or text me and we can talk about it. But Jay, you want to add to it?
So with that, there are several ways that one can access money from a retirement account, even if you're still working for that particular employer, right? Yet again, we got to know the rules and play the rules. So once you let Saran know what's your age, right? Then there are strategic ways of how you can access money from that particular policy. But what's the number one thing is, what is your goals? Like, what are you trying to accomplish, right? What's going to be the position that your money can be maximized in? And then from there, you can then transfer that money to another particular arena. And now that money has more opportunity to grow. And then if you're looking at something very tactical like annuities, now it can grow without the downside risk. That is very, very key. If I have $1,000 and I lose 50% 1 year, because yes, the stock market can fall 50% in a year. That has happened. Now I'm down to $500 in my account value. The next year, let's say I make 100% return. Well, I'm sorry. Let's say I make 50% return the following year. So $1,000, I lost 50%. Now I'm down to $500. The next year on that $500, I make 50%. Now I only have $750 now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not back at whole yet. So in other words, I got to make 100% return on that $500 in order to get back break even. But what if I had a vehicle where if the market did drop, I lose zero?
Yeah, I love it. She says she's got 3 years left, so maybe we'll do a joint call with her.
For sure. No, the difference sounds good. We can look at and then if you're working for the government, it's going to be a 457 or thrift savings plan. Yep. These are going to be different plans. And then also when you guys have this in election, please reach out, right? You guys need to talk to individuals like us that are educated, passionate, and really have a love for helping people with their finances. When you elect to take benefits like a pension from these particular institutions, it may last for your life It may last for your spouse life, but after that, even if there's money left over, your kids, your grandkids, they get nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You can create your own pension to where you can receive the money, and there's money left over, they receive that money as well. You have different elections. You might be able to generate more income a month than you would creating your own pension versus taking the one at your job. So you always want to seek that coach, that guidance when making these life-changing financial decisions.
Yeah. I love it. Okay, well, let's make sure we get you. I put your Instagram in. I want to get them on your YouTube channel too. I'm gonna go find the link real quick because I love the videos that you drop on a regular. If you got it, at your fingertips, please drop it in the chat. But,
okay, yeah. YouTube.
The website.
Yeah. I drop YouTube as well. Like I said, our goal is to continue giving, really continue educating, continue giving. But you guys stay tuned. We literally figure out the blueprint to really help people get ahead financially, right? I'm going to tell you what kind of insurance policies you need. You go get those from Saran. She's going to make sure you guys have the right insurance policies. Then I'm going to show you how to use that money from the insurance policies to build more wealth, to grow your money. So now you don't have to depend on someone to trade and invest your money for you. You're going to have that knowledge how to do both. And the more money you make, then we can allocate that money to something like an annuity, because she's going to tell you, you need this amount of money to go into an annuity to achieve the desired income for the rest of your life. Right? I'm going to show you how to make the money. Right? And this is how you guys have the best of both worlds. So you know how to make them, you know how to manage it, grow it, preserve it, and then also transfer it.
Yeah. Look, and I'm going to add one more. Enjoy it.
Woo!
Enjoy it, because listen, we work too hard not to enjoy these coins that we bringing in.
Facts.
So we gotta look. That's gonna be my enjoy it. We gotta enjoy it. So listen, Jay, it's been so amazing having you. Hang back for a second. I'm gonna close out, and then I'm gonna talk to you in a minute.
Sounds good.
Listen, today has been an amazing conversation with my guy Jay from Jay's Money Secrets. I'm so excited to have him. He's an amazing resource. And if you go to his Instagram, like he said, and you put my name in the DM, say, hey, I was on Saran's Live. I want to have early access to the stock course. He will make sure that you have access to that and you can get connected with me. If you want to get connected with me, go to my website, www.coveredbySaran.com. If you want to get my free resource guide, go to RichAuntieManifesto.com and you can download it and you'll be able to have access to information. I might even send you an email or two. But just stay connected and don't forget, we're here every Monday at 8:30 p.m. I have another special guest coming next week where we're going to be educating for the new year. I know it's the holiday season, it's Cyber Monday, you want to be shopping, but what if I told you just buy some money? How about that? Let's get in the game and let's be serious about what we're doing in the future. So I'm excited to be here. I'll be back. And as I say each week, peace, love, and light. Let's get our money right. Bye.